Absolutely, and I think while the United States goes under, I think a lot of the BRICS nations are going to thrive. I think Russia's going to rise. It's just. By the way, speaking of that, Carl, as your fans all know, you went to Russia, and it was during the Z. What was that like? So tell me, what was that like, and how was your experience about like Russia? What was it like there for you during that experience that was happening?
Moscow is beautiful. So I spent the 2 weeks in Moscow in second half of June, and I was there during the Prigozhin coup, the so-called Prigozhin coup, and I was I nothing happened in Moscow. There was a very few a short period of curfew. Um, they locked down the Red Square. But other than that, everything went on as normal. I went to see a concert that night. I went to see the Russian folkloric choir performance. And after the concert is over, my Russian tour guide told me, "Oh, the coup is over." There was a negotiation, and Prigozhin took the deal. So I mean, it's kind of I would say a little bit anticlimactic. Everybody thinks there's like panic. There's going to be a regime change. I'm like, no, no, no. I actually went down to the Red Square and I shot a video saying like, look, people they're just tourists walking about during their normal sales holiday, and so yeah, Russia, I would highly recommend. Moscow is beautiful in the summer. I don't know about the winter, but in the summer, it's really beautiful. The very long daylight hours. The sun comes up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and it doesn't get dark until like 10. So it's just gorgeous. It's one of the most beautiful city I ever visited. And the Russian people I talk to, they're just very practical, average people trying to do better for themselves and their family. I don't know why there's a stereotype of Russian people being cold, but the people that I come into contact with, once they get to know you, they're very generous. They're very welcoming, and so yeah, I highly recommend. That's my take on Russia.
How would you see the Russian war ending? Do you think you? By the way, actually, no. Speaking about Russia, um, what now? We're going to go into. We've got 20 more minutes left. If you want, we can end earlier, but we're going to go into the one everybody mentions, and it's Taiwan, United States. What do you think? How would you see the Taiwan China thing like edging out? Do you think the Taiwan do you think once the Ukrainian war finishes, do you think that China is going to be the one that attacks Taiwan, or do you think the United States and the military industrial complex is going to do an inside job and prove to
Right.
me
So
in a
there's
way prove to me why Taiwan is a part of China, like why and how
right.
what it would be like under China?
Right. So first of all, there's the only talks about some imminent attacks on Taiwan is coming from the English language media. There's nothing like that in the Chinese language media. No, nobody on mainland China is saying we're gonna liberate Taiwan today or tomorrow. And there's a ridiculous timeline that was being floated around in the Anglo media talking about China's plan to take Taiwan by 2027 or
Oh
2025.
yeah, that was stupid.
uh, yeah. But why? But why? It's like China right now. China is still growing. China is going to be stronger in 2030. Why not wait a couple more years or another 5 years? China even more stronger in 2035. The thing is, time is on China's side. The relative Taiwan issue is not really mainland China and Taiwan issue. It's a U.S. and China issue, right? But right now, every year, China's relative position vis-a-vis United States is growing stronger. So China is not in a rush to solve this Taiwan issue today or tomorrow or 2017 or 2027. I'm sorry. Some people might be disappointed to hear that, but I'm just talking about reality here. China can't afford to wait, and also, about, this is why actually the time period that's put forward in Pentagon, this would be the timeline that Pentagon would like to see the Taiwan conflict happen because um, during the current projection of the Chinese economy and the growth of Chinese military, by 2030s, United States will have trouble containing China, even if he wants to militarily, because look at China is the world's factory. China makes everything. China has
Yeah.
industrial capacity.
Well,
US
let's
is
not forget
hollowing out.
Russia's army too. They also have that same, advantage too.
Yep. Yep. I mean, even though they say US has like US just has the largest military budget in the world. That's dwarfed the other country. But what does it actually give to United States? Most of that $1 trillion that Pentagon spends, that's going to the grift. That's going to pay off corruption and including paying insane amount of money for crap weapon systems like F-35. It doesn't mean all that money is actually producing top of the line weapons. And we saw that in the Ukraine war. Like there's a famous rant I posted. There was a Russian soldier talk about this. He said, like, in Russia, we actually make weapons that works. Like your Leopard, your Abrams, whatever, they look great in Hollywood movies. But on the ground, it's still the Russian weapon that's gonna dominate. Because right now, US is running out of shells, artillery shells. That's kind of the state of US manufacturing capacity that has been atrophied. And he want to go compete against China. China has, so if US were to fight China, they will have to use it will have to be used US Navy, to cross the Pacific, right? But look at China's shipbuilding capacity. China has 13 shipyards. US has 7. And just one of China's shipyards, the Jiangnan shipyard outside of Shanghai, that is bigger than all of United States 7 shipyards. Yeah, and in 20 and China average in the last few years, China was average producing three for every one warship US produced, China produced 3. But in 2022, for every one warship United States produced, China produced 7. So time is on China's side, and and
Mhm.
and, and, and but China will not be in a rush to do anything about it because China is making warships like dumplings, but they have to train crews. They have to train a new generation of Navy personnel to handle all these gadgets, these hardware. That's going to take 10 years, to so I mean, and so this is I don't see a war breaking out unless the government on Taiwan unilaterally declare independence. And China has said that is a red line. And again, the government of Taiwan would never do anything without explicit go ahead, approval, and encouragement from the United States government. So the only danger is US decide to push the issue, which I don't see right now. I don't think they're rushing, because I think even for the people working in the US military industrial complex, their primary goal is to get as much money into their own pocket so they can go retire comfortably in their McMansions or Bahamas or whatever, right? They're not suicidal people because China and US are both nuclear powers. I just don't see like a hot war to break out. Because a war over Taiwan will not just be mainland China versus Taiwan. Because if it's just mainland China versus Taiwan, it's game over after after a few days. And but but if U.S. were to get directly involved, it's not a proxy anymore. It's not a proxy war like Ukraine. United States could do a proxy war in Ukraine because Ukraine share border with NATO countries like Poland.
Mhm.
Taiwan is an island. If
Yeah.
China were to put a naval blockade around the island, then U.S. either move in, try to break through the naval blockade, and then that means direct confrontation between China and U.S. That's World War III, right? And then nuclear exchange and the end of the human civilization. And so I don't think in the most likely scenario, I say 99% chance there's not going to be a war in the next 5-7 years. I don't see the timeline 2025, 2027. It doesn't make sense for China. For China, the longer you wait, the stronger it's gonna get. So China is not in a rush. And but on the other hand, the only danger is if U.S. decide to push the independent button on Taiwan, and that would definitely trigger a war.
Mhm. So, thank you very much, Carl, for coming on my show. Is there anything else you would like to say before we finish up?
Check out my Silk and Steel podcast. I run a podcast that's focused on everything China, history, culture, and politics. You can also follow me on my social media on Twitter. I'm a prolific shit poster on Twitter, so you can follow me there. And if you want some Chinese history stuff, follow my podcast. I'm doing a chronological retelling of Chinese history all the way from beginning. Right now, I'm up to episode 59, so I'm up to like 550 BC. I have a long way to
Oh,
go.
wow, that's
So,
a lot.
so yeah, and thank you for inviting me. By the way,
You're welcome. And I just want to say to everybody, please go and check Carl's channel. He does very good political work on China, very talented, very knowledgeable when it comes to this. He's a very cool person. You'll have a lot of fun. Please go check out his work. Go give it a like and subscribe. Give it, the credit it deserves. And yeah, and I just want to say thank you for coming on, Carl. It was a pleasure having you.
thank you. I also have a YouTube channel, just my name, Carl Zha. You can find all my stuff there. So thank you
Yeah.
very much.
And I just want to say to everybody, thank you for joining the Welsh Republic podcast, episode 122. Have a nice day, everybody. Take care, stay safe, and bye.